All right, this is going to be my my ragtag quick review of Doom: The Dark Ages. Came out 2 days ago. I've had 48 hours to spend with it, and if you stick along far enough to in this video, at some point you're going to have a chance to actually win a copy of Doom: The Dark Ages and some other goodies that I'm going to throw into. So stay tuned for that. But for now, let's talk about the game. It's out. What's good? What's bad? I've got a whole list here on my phone that I'm going to be reading off of. Call me a disorganized person because I am. But yeah, starting out, Doom: The Dark Ages. It's everything that I wanted from a Doom game. It actually slims everything back and makes everything a lot more straightforward. I'm sure you've heard other people say that it's a much more stand your ground title. When I heard that before playing it, I thought maybe it was going to be very stiff movement-wise and that I wasn't going to have a whole lot of options when it comes to, getting in and around enemies and actually, dealing with everything that was being thrown towards me. But that's not the case. Movement is actually very fluid. You can cover long distances very quickly, and it feels really, really satisfying because there's a mechanic with your shield where you can actually shield bash people, charge through some weak fodder enemies, and then take on the big guys. There's every question that I had about Doom: The Dark Ages in terms of gameplay and everything, and worries that I had are answered by fixes in the gameplay, which is super sick. Seeing in the trailers, I always saw that weapon that grinds the skulls and shoots them all out as little shards. I can't remember what it's called, but it feels just as cool as it looks to use. And speaking about the weapons, you start out with the shotgun. That's like the Slayer's classic weapon, but you have your normal array of Doom weapons. You can switch between them as you need to. Obviously, there's going to be certain enemies that are weak to plasma, and then there's an overheat mechanic, and you have to use the shotgun for this guy because it's a little bit easier. But you're not pressured into using those weapons. They're not your only option. There's other ways to take out enemies, which is super duper nice. I haven't unlocked every weapon yet. I'm very close to. I've kind of tried to slow down on the game a bit because I was sort of rushing through it for review. But in terms of just guns, weapon variety, combat, moving around the arenas that you get set into, and even the navigation throughout the maps, it's absolutely great. Absolutely baller. I wish that the maps were a little bit easier to navigate. They're still kind of odd and PC if you're not really, used to the way Quake and Doom 2016, Doom Eternal works, with the verticality of it and just the sheer span of everything. But after a while, once you learn the map system, it becomes much less of a hassle. But it's overall, most of the time, if you're just paying attention when you're going through the levels, you don't really need to open the map anyways, unless you're just you're hunting for every collectible that's on it. If you're just trying to play through the game and run and gun, you don't really have to open it at all. In my experience, it's really cool to just go through the arenas as you need to. And it's the map also has another really good use. Speaking of. Showing you where, just like an Eternal did, showing you where your fights are going through. So if you're going to come up on a big fight and you're playing on a harder difficulty and you're like, I might not have a lot of ammo, the game is very forgiving with stuff like that, but it helps to be able to look ahead and see stuff that, you may not be prepared for. The shield, which is the big addition to this, we don't have a chainsaw anymore. I was really worried about that. The shield in Melee, how they used it to replace the chainsaw mechanic and everything, is fucking sick. It's badass being the Doom Slayer with a Captain America shield that you can throw at fodder enemies. You can get different upgrades for it and have it stick into a stronger enemy, and then your bullets will ricochet off of that stronger enemy. Stuff like that makes it extremely fun where, you're using the same principles of the firefighting and the dealing with enemies, but you can change it up slightly with stuff like that. So if you're dealing with a big guy and you've got a lot of fodder enemies that are sitting around you and you just want to take care of them, but you don't want to run out and, do it yourself or turn around and spin and everything, you can focus on your one dude in the middle of everybody else, hit him with your shield, spray him down with bullets, take care of everybody else while damaging him, and then you're halfway done with whatever stage you're in, which is super badass. In terms of gameplay in general, just purely for the gameplay, if that's all you care about in Doom games, you don't care about anything else, this is an absolute 10 out of 10 when it comes to combat, weapons, and just sheer gameplay, map navigation, stuff like that. There are things for other people here too. For me, being a music buff, The OST is good, but it's not great. There's not really any moments that I can think of where I heard some of the music queuing up and I, started to get like kind of excited and amped. And I don't know, I've listened to the OST by itself in the car, driving around just to see if it was kind of a, if it was suffering from its surroundings a little bit, the way that, it comes into you. But it's really, I'm not going to say that it's not as good. It's definitely good, but it's not, it doesn't punch as hard as 2016 did at the beginning, which was kind of what I was hoping for with this new, implementation of the Dark Ages and everything else. Like the OST, I expected to be like a real good like opening act kind of deal that carried you through. But the OST it's okay. I definitely don't see myself like listening to it and jamming it in the car like I did with 2016's soundtrack. But overall, it's not terrible. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. Which with the OST, there's a couple other issues. The sound mixing in the game in general could definitely be better. Once again, I'm playing on PS5 Pro with the Edge Elite. I think DualSense Edge Elite. No, the Pulse Elite headphones. Sorry. With the Pulse Elite headphones, I thought it was just the headphones having a glitch, but sometimes when I was playing Doom the Dark Ages, I would get crackly audio, thinking it was the headphones glitching. I would switch to another game, and it'd be completely fine. So I couldn't really figure out the issue there. And on top of that, while you're in combat and you think that the music should be louder, or you think it should take precedent when you're in the middle of a fight, it's not really balanced that well, and you kind of have to finagle it to be the perfect mix between the actual gameplay audio and the music itself, which is kind of disappointing. Stuff like that kind of takes you out of the game. I can understand how maybe they could want it like that. I tested it on headphones, tested it on a soundbar, didn't sound very good on a soundbar at all. Yes, this is an expensive soundbar. Usually everything else sounds fine. Tested it on the headphones, didn't sound very good. Tested it with the actual my interface, DT770s, and it's good. It's okay, but it's not. You really have to finagle with the settings to get the sound mixing balance, which for a Doom game, it's so rhythmic and so repetitive in terms of like the way you move and you're listening for certain sounds and like audio cues for fighting enemies and stuff like that. It can really hurt some of your gameplay experience when they're not aligned properly, or certain things that you think should be louder aren't, and then you're relying on visual cues, which thank the Lord for all of the accessibility options in this game, because the visual cues that are normally difficult for me to see in games like this are extremely easy, because you can actually go through the menus and dial everything in. I don't have any footage of that. I have normal gameplay footage, but I'm sure other people do. When you hop into the accessibility menus and everything, you have everything that you could possibly need to make the game playable for somebody that's, colorblind or, wants to turn the game speed down, right? So you can turn the game speed of the enemies. If everything's happening too fast and you feel like you can't keep up with it, you can turn the actual game speed down in the game and slow-mo your way through things, which is super cool. And it doesn't make it, too easy, which is another thing that I want to talk about is the difficulty. I originally put it on easy because I'm one of those people that usually tries to play through the game the first time on easy just to, get the story experience and everything else, and then I go back and play it on the hardest difficulty. I tried to start Doom the Dark Ages on easy, and the aim assist immediately kicked my ass. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I was like using both of my DualSense Elite controllers, where I was like taking the joystick out and swapping the joysticks because I thought something was wrong with my controller. The connection was bad, so I was playing wired. And it turns out that all it was is that I actually missed the aim assist setting in the menu. Once I turned off aim assist, it was perfectly fine. It was a nice little, humpy-dumpy rail shooter, and it felt great. But if you're having any problems like that or having any aiming issues like I was and you think it's a glitch or something, it's not. It's in the settings. You can fix it. And not only that, the difficulty itself. Easy in this game is very easy. Very easy. And everything kind of bumps up in levels of 25%, right? This is the first Doom game that I've been able to play on Nightmare mode and not actually struggle with it or, start stumbling over myself or have to think too much about resource management and stuff like that, which is great. It keeps you in the game. It makes the combat challenging but not overly hard to where you feel like you're just getting your shit kicked in all the time. I guess the only caveat for that would be, for people that really do want a rougher experience, there's always modifiers you can use to make that a little more rough on yourself. And the PC community is going to have fun with this game anyways. I mean, let's be real. They're going to mod something in to make the difficulty ridiculous on the back end of it. So, difficulty is not really that big of a deal. The easiest is really easy. I'm very, very, very glad to finally see a Doom game that I legitimately have not found something to where I'm like, this person I know might not enjoy it. I hang out with a lot of different people with a lot of different issues, whether it be health or the games they play or whatever. This is the first Doom game in a long time that I actually feel like is accessible to everyone, and everyone has the same fair shot at having the same experience. Some people would probably argue that enemy difficulty can create a different experience. As far as I'm aware, in the way I was playing it yesterday, because I was tweaking some settings trying to see if I had everything figured out for this, the amount of enemies is the same, the arena stays the same. I think it's just damage modifiers, and that's in the accessibility menus as well. You can adjust how much damage they do to you, how much damage you do to them, and all that good stuff. And, yeah, I mean, it's great to have a game that you can say, hey, if you have a buddy that isn't usually into this genre and you want to get him into it, this might be the one that gets him there with the new aesthetic, the new shield mechanic, which is badass. It's awesome. Some of the new enemies are great as well. I don't want to... This is going to be as spoiler-free as possible, but the Pinky Riders are absolutely badass. They are super pimp. The Titan fight is awesome. You can't get mad at me for that one when I said no spoilers. It's Doom. You're going to fight a Titan at some point. It's just basically how it's going. I mean, well, I don't know. Was the Icon of Sin a Titan? I guess he was. I don't know. We're fighting OG Titans. We're fighting Papa Titans. Okay? We're fighting, Doom the Dark Ages Titans. It's fucking great. Oh man, there's so much good you can say about this game. We'll get to the overall score later, but for right now, I'm just going to keep going through my little list here. Another caveat, if you're playing on console, between console and PC, stuff that I've noticed and comments that other people have left, PS5 Pro has the performance is great, the frame rate is great, the ray tracing selectively is, it's alright. Nothing takes you out of the experience on console. All the footage that I'm going to be running during this video and during talking about it is going to be footage that I captured on PS5 just because it's a little bit easier. When you go from the PS5 Pro to PC, I'm running a 4080 Super in my rig. It's a lot sharper even without DLSS turned on, and I think it may have something to do with the way the programmers at id tried to implement PSSR. I'm not 100% certain. We'll see more about that soon, but it's definitely, a softer image, kind of when, like, FSR first came out, and it was a lower scale resolution. It wasn't really good at generating frames and outputting at a higher resolution yet, or how, like, when checkerboarding was brand new. It kind of had a little bit of uncanny valley to it and small, like, softer tones and everything. But once again, not bad. PS5 Pro version and Xbox version, I've watched gameplay on that as well, just to do some comparisons. The console experience on Doom the Dark Ages is not that bad. Now, if we can all look past the only 85 megabytes of data on the physical disc, that would be great, which I hope whoever receives this doesn't mind, because it's only going to have 85 megabytes of physical data on the disc. I'm going to try to sweeten the deal, give you some other stuff too, but that'll be later. When it comes to an overall rating for the game, honestly, I think I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 overall. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. On my scale, it's only getting a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 because of the OST is okay, not great. Usually I don't care about stuff like that, but it's not really the OST by itself, it's the audio mixing. The audio mixing can get really annoying in this game to the point where I was kind of tempted just to, and I did at one point, just turn the music off in the game and then listen to my own music while I was playing it. Had a much better This is no shade at Secret Level or anything like that, but that was kind of the answer to everything. It is good. The OST is good. It's not great. The audio mixing is not great. You can definitely just play this to your own music. It'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, 9 out of 10. I think it's a solid 9 out of 10 game. I think anybody that's a Doom fan, or even somebody that's not really a Doom fan yet, if you think this looks cool, definitely pick it up 100%. This is, I could definitely see this being a gateway drug for some people, just like, Doom 3 was for me. And then we got Doom 2016 way after the fact, and it completely changed the landscape for me entirely. Yeah, I mean, it's just great. I'm going to talk about a little bit of spoilery stuff, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers or anything, or you're still staying, tuned out of the game, skip this portion of it. They do a very good job of making the Doomslayer feel like a motherfucking nuclear bomb. Like, he is the answer to everyone's issues. He's just a straight-up fucking unit, just a straight-up weapon. Which is what the Doomslayer is. We've always known that that's what the Doomslayer is. Everybody's wondered about his origins. I've watched hours upon hours of lore videos about the whole Doom universe and everything else, and then the Dark Ages comes in and doesn't piss all over it, which is great. There's a good bit of fan service. There's a lot of stuff to keep you immersed in the world, and there's a lot of stuff with just regular NPCs and the way people talk about the Doomslayer that are like, you'll be walking through a hallway full of refugees, and they'll be like, oh my god, it's him. Everybody gets quiet and kind of, backs away into the wall. They don't want to fuck with you anymore because you're scary. You're the big doom-slaying guy. Everybody's afraid of you. It's fucking awesome. It's been a long time since I've had a game other than God of War or Space Marine that makes me feel like I am a badass character with nothing but ass to kick and fuck it, whatever. You feel like a badass. You're an absolute unit in this fucking game, and it does a great job of making you feel like that. Also, the pacing of it is awesome when it comes to the lore and the lore dumps with everything and how people talk about you and how they're, they kind of hint at your I don't want to get too spoilery in this, but your origin story of like what you are if you didn't play the DLC in Doom Eternal and everything, and like the time loop stuff, and it's all really cool. I say the time loop stuff, that's for old lore junkies. I think the game is just, it's really good. I haven't completely beaten it yet. I've gotten very, 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 I'm pretty damn far, but I have not beaten it yet. Oh man. Yeah, if you're a Doom fan, definitely pick it up. I 100% would. And speaking of picking up a copy of Doom, you, my friends, can pick up a copy of Doom. Because I have a copy for you right here. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. All you have to do, make sure just interact with this video in any way. Doesn't matter how. I don't really care. I have no preference. This will cost you nothing. This is absolutely free. You guys have been good to me, watching everything. That's all I really care about. And I don't really, do stuff like this often. But I feel like the least I could do to say thank you is give you guys an opportunity to get something back. So if you have a friend that plays PlayStation, wants a copy of this and can't afford it, go ahead, try to nab this for them. All you have to do is interact with the video. Make sure when you interact with the video that you have your email visible on your YouTube page. You do not have to subscribe. You don't have to comment or anything like that. Just interact with this. Interact with me. Show me some loving, baby. And I'm going to show you some loving back. Make sure in your YouTube channel profile that your email is visible, and whenever I reach out to you to send you this, get all the nitty-gritty information and stuff, I'm going to tell you everything else that's going to be packed in and shipped with it. And then in the next video, maybe you'll get a shout-out or something. I don't know, but I'll definitely give you a shout-out and everything on Instagram, the YouTube post page, and on the Facebook. So if you guys aren't caught up, follow me over there. It's a fun time. You get to see all the little, weird, collection edition stuff that you can't see because my chair blocks it. And you get to hang out with me a little bit more. Doom the Dark Ages, solid 9 out of 10. Good game for 2025. Bad, rough start. Everybody's kind of mad about the disc thing, only having 85 megs of data on it. But, yeah, all right. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to me ramble, as always. yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Go play some more video games, guys. It's a good year for video games. I'll see you guys on the next game review. And to whoever wins this in the sometime future, you're welcome.